I'm trying something different, and I'm looking there, and I need to look there. This is more into trying to work without a ring light. So I'm just working with natural light. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Are you here? Okay. Welcome to live chat. Something's changed here. Are you here? Let me know if you're here with me. There you are. You are here. Hi. We might have some lighting issues today because I'm using natural light, and I might have to keep stepping back a little bit. Hi, Samarocco. I got it. Morozco. I tried to memorize it. Hi, Terry. Hi, Noah. Hi, MBJ. Josh. My buddy, you're there. Jonathan and Piper. Oh, you're at work. Okay. Hi, everybody. God, I'm glad you're here, man. Hi, Code GS anime fan, and Alfred and Christopher. Oh, you're all showing up. This is awesome. Awesome. All right, I'm going to probably, you know what I'm going to do is take off my glasses so I don't get a reflection in my face, but then I can't really read. I'm trying new things. I'm rolling with it. Okay. Hi, babe. Back at ya. Hi, Lee. So the light that you're seeing in my glasses is the reflection from the front door. I am standing in my Vidal. Alfred. Kodo 009. I love it. Hi, guys. So now this is just going to keep changing while we're doing this. We might slide over. Who knows? I just figured you guys might enjoy a slightly... I love you, Aaron. Aaron wants to know how I don't look a day older. Trust me, I do. Actually, I may be doing a slight makeover on myself soon just to maybe consider not coloring my hair anymore. I'm not sure about that. My colorist is not excited about this idea, but I also really believe that we have an issue with aging in our country and in our world, and that I know Sam Roscoe's like, what? That we don't appreciate the beauty throughout all of our ages. So I don't know, I'm thinking about it. My mom, I just spent last weekend with her, and she has completely beautiful white hair. And I'm not there yet, but I have more gray than I've ever had. Hello, Percha. Love you from Argentina. So anyway, I wanted to talk. Oh gosh, you're all showing up. This is exciting. I have gray and I don't care. I know, I think gray is really sexy. I actually have a Pinterest board called Beautiful Women, and the only way you can be on that board is if you have gray hair. But my mother has the most beautiful hair and long hair, and I just think maybe it might be time. It's also a really huge expense, and and it takes a lot of time as well. And I'm really at a place where, hey, Peter Sloop, I love this. Where I'm at a place where I really just want to simplify my life, as well as like be super cool with all the changes and the growth that I'm getting to experience as I move to this part of my life. I think that we don't necessarily appreciate the wisdom of growing older. And I think it's because we see a lot of examples around us where people aren't growing older and learning and growing and changing and keeping up. People who just are like, this is the way it was in my time, or this is who I am, and you're just gonna have to live with it. That's kind of a double-edged sword, because yes, you want to embrace who you are, but if who you are isn't expanding and growing with this world around us that's expanding and growing, then actually what you're doing is you're fighting the wave. And I just wrote, I'm going to be releasing my website really soon. And in it, there is a blog. And I talk about fighting the wave and how when we fight ourselves, it's really like trying to fight a wave in the ocean. And if you've ever been in the ocean and caught in either a riptide or some really big waves, when you fight them, you feel like you're starting to drown, and then you literally do start to drown. So I think that there's this balance in life of being who we are inherently and what our real truth is, and what and growing as well, and accepting that I'm not sure if I'm looking in the right direction. If I look here, guys, does it look like I'm looking at you? I just caught a glimpse of myself. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. I think what's usually, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but I think it's really like embracing who we are, but not being so rigid that we don't evolve and grow. Because then we're just kind of stuck in our shit. You know, like we all have, I know I certainly do, places where, oh, I just want to grow and I want to change and I want it to be better, but I'm not willing to let go of my story or my experience or my beliefs. And so I'm stuck there, which kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about today, because, you know, we're in this moment on planet Earth where we have a major war that has potential grave possibilities. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about the war specifically because it is very nuanced. It is not black or white. There is a tremendous amount of gray. There's a tremendous amount of history. Anytime we're at war on this planet, as we can see, we are all affected by it. And war is not a loving and harmonious energy. It is a very dark, it is a very angry, it is the other side of love. It is a hateful energy, and we are all so connected now that we all feel it. And I really do believe that we all wage war every day with ourselves, with other people, via social media. I mean, how many times do you have arguments in your head and you're all by yourself? You know, I have to remind myself now, you're fighting with somebody who's not actually here. And what exactly is being accomplished by this, except that I'm creating more resistance? And so, you know, Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see. Well, we have to own that. I personally know for me that I must be the change. I can't ask of anybody what I'm not willing to embrace and live myself. And so I really do believe that if we want peace on earth, it's got to start within. It's got to, each one of us individually has to come to peace, or has to come to peace within ourselves. And if that's not possible, then to get as much peace on as many topics and things that are important to us as we can, because I don't know that you could ever be totally peaceful, because there's contrast in the world. There's always something that's going to happen that's going to hurt us, harm us, annoy us, aggravate, you know, that we're going to not be in harmony with what's happening, and shouldn't be, very likely. You know, that we don't want to be in situations that disempower us. We don't want to stand there when injustice is happening and not speak up and say something. But it's really vitally important. I'm discovering, this is only my experience, you may agree with it or not, that if I want to contribute really meaningfully to the world, then I need to walk my own path of peace. I need to find this inside of myself. And that is challenging. And I believe more and more that the path to peace is through loving yourself and accepting. Let me put this in the first person. I believe that the path for me to peace is through self-love, is through accepting myself, is through more kindness for me than ever before. Now, I'm a person who is absolutely dedicated to personal development and growth. I take responsibility for my life and for my actions. I believe that I have a tremendous amount of control over how I do life. I have no control over what happens out there, but I have a lot of control over how I choose to interpret it, see it, the story that I want to tell about it or perpetuate. I have control over that. And when I'm in a place where I'm loving and accepting myself more, then it goes better. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not criticizing myself. I'm not expecting perfection. I am meeting myself where I am in any given day that I'm in. And I think we all know that some days we're amazing and some days it sucks from the minute we open up our eyes. And so, how do you love yourself? Well, it's a journey because it's going to look different for every single person. But I think that it starts with radical acceptance. I don't love that there's a war happening right now that has such massive consequences for the entire world. I don't love that. But I must radically accept it in that it is happening. My denial of it happening, my raging against it's happening, my disagreement with the fact that it's happening does not stop the reality that exists that it is happening. Now, I get to choose where, who, and what I want to be in response to that. And do I want, because remember, it is a very intense vibration. Do I want to feed into it, perpetuate, and grow it? Or do I want to see it, acknowledge that it's there, and then seek to not perpetuate it in myself so that I am one person who is not contributing to the war vibration on planet Earth? Instead, I'm contributing to the peace, love vibration that's here, that's available in wartime. That is harmony in, whoops, sorry guys, that is harmony in the midst of chaos. There are always stories of human kindness and generosity, forgiveness, and love in times of great strife. We have gone through in the last long time, 4 or 5 years, however, a good while of real strife on the planet. And I believe that we are all connected. We are the ants. That's the grasshoppers. And if the ants, each one does their part, it shifts things. It shifts outcomes. It has the potential. When love walks into a room, you can feel it. You might deny it. You might try to kill it. You might ask it to leave, but you can feel it. Just as you can feel when hate walks into a room. And you may want to flee from it. And you I don't know, maybe you want to embrace it, maybe whatever. It's really interesting. You know how when a mob gathers and you get mob mentality, people can do things that they wouldn't normally do if they weren't surrounded by a lot of people, which shows the influence of the mob. Now, sometimes those mobs are angry mobs, and they are mobs that start to destruct property, people, all kinds of things. Or it could be a mob, say, at a concert. It's a large group of people, say it's Wembley Stadium or Dodger Stadium, and you're seeing a great concert, or it's a weekend festival like Coachella or something along those lines. And it's just people hanging out, having fun, and you could just feel it. It just is so, you get swept up in the dominant vibration, because we are vibrational beings. We feel stuff, for the most of us, not everybody, but you can sense things. You can sense, oh, this may not go well, or, oh, this is amazing, I want it. Or I need to get out of this room, or don't walk in that elevator, or the garage feels funny. I'm going to have somebody walk me to my car. Or, well, here's one. My son was supposed to fly to Paris this morning, and he did everything he needed to do. And he had to have a QR code. What is the code? A code saying that he had a negative COVID test. And it was required by his airline, and the app wouldn't download. It was like he had the test, he knew it was negative, and they wouldn't let him on, and they wouldn't help him with it. They said it was their policy not to help, even though their policy required it. And he'd been having a feeling he was going by himself to Paris for 11 days. And he was actually going to do a little traveling. I think he was going to Brussels, Luxembourg, maybe Amsterdam. And he started to get this thing. He said, Mom, I started writing a will before I left. I was like, what? He's only 26 years old. But he was saying that he started to have this feeling. He was going anyway. And he was prevented from going. Alice, I hope if you ever watch this, you don't mind me sharing this story. But he was getting information saying it's not time to do this right now. And circumstances were starting to snowball so that he was prevented from going on this trip. He listened to the combination of the outer data, which is QR code doesn't work, airline stuff is going on, this is not working out very well. He was willing to take that data as well as his intuition about what was going on, and then make a decision that was very positive for himself. So we have these internal navigational systems that send us off in a direction. Do you ever not listen to your intuition and it goes really poorly? When I do that, and I love to do that. I think I've talked about this before. I love it when I don't follow my intuition, because it always sends me in the right direction. I realize in retrospect that it was sending me in the right direction, and me not listening to it gave me an experience that I didn't really want, but I'm always collecting data on how to live. So we are all part of this collective, and we are connected to each other, and our little piece matters. The peacefulness that I can cultivate every day, to the extent to which I'm capable of cultivating, some days a lot, some days a little, matters. It matters to the outcome of whatever we're up to here on planet Earth. The more people that can embrace peace inside, the better. And everybody's road to that, everybody's way of doing that is going to be different. It's going to be unique to you. It's like, I sort of see the earth as like a body, like a human body. I've got hair. So some of us are hair. Some of us are hair follicles. Some of us are eyeballs. Some of us are neural pathways. Some of us are the teeth. Some of us are the nails. Some of us are the bones. Some of us are the blood. Some of us are the capillaries. Some of us are red blood cells, white blood cells. Some of us are the heart, liver, kidney, tendons, ligaments, muscles, all of that. We're all of these very different things. My blood and my hair is totally different, but it is the same organism. And we're seeing more than ever that something that starts on the other side of the planet works its way around and affects us all. So why not? Yes, I agree with you, Daniel. Daniel just said the earth itself is a living organism. And we're a living organism on a living organism. Jamie likes to think of herself as the taste buds. And an amazing baker, absolutely, she would be the taste buds. But we all have a part to play. We all can make a difference in just finding some peace within, maybe being a little more generous with the people in our lives who are having a hard time, more generous with ourselves. So here's the thing. So let's go back to self-love for a second. What I'm learning is when I can be radical in my self-love, when I can just, like, if I'm having a moment, instead of like bitching at myself about it, I try to hold my own hand and say, wow, really having a hard time. That's when I start my breath practice, which is saving my life right now. When shit gets weird or goes sideways, I just start to breathe. Brings me right into the present moment, calms my nervous system down, oxygenates my brain. It's like a cocktail for your brain. And I'm able to kind of steady the wobble. And I might have to do this, 20 times in the course of a day, or 30 times, or, there are times I'll wake up and I'm like, I wake up and I can feel the stress just moving through my body. Like, what the hell is this? And I go, nothing's wrong. Just breathe. Just breathe. Oh, I love it. You guys are so smart. And yeah, John, we're going from 3D to 5D. And 4D is where it's crazy. So what's John talking about? In the third dimensional spectrum, we're seeing the world kind of collapse. We're seeing people wake up. That takes you into the fourth dimension, which is, and I know this might sound crazy to you, which is totally cool, and just discard it. But that's where waking up happens and change begins to happen. When you start saying, okay, all of this is happening out here, and really like looking at war, that is a very third dimensional reality. When you move into your heart, into love, and really send love out into the world, that is a higher vibration than war. There is a scale. David Hawkins called it, what is it? The scale. What's the name of the scale? You guys are really smart. It's a scale of vibration. He wrote about it in his book, Power versus Force. And right now the name of that scale is eluding me. However, when like you're being mean or you're upset, like it's not a great vibe, man. Like it's not, nothing's going well. When you let it go, cork bobs back up to the water, to the surface of the water. You're not resisting and pushing it underneath anymore. You're letting go, and then something good happens and you just feel better. You first of all start to feel more like yourself, but life, in addition to that, life just starts to get a little bit easier. Yes, David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force. Anyway, you are now in a place, in a higher frequency. You're in a more elevated dimension, a better place through which to navigate life. It just goes a lot smoother. At least that has been my experience. I would be very curious to know what some of your experiences are like, and what are some of the things that you guys do that that makes you feel better, or even some of the things like that you're struggling with right now. Because I really do feel like we are absolutely here to help each other. We are doing this together. This is a collective experiment. Scale of enlightenment. Oh, I love that. Yeah. We haven't even talked about the 60. But respecting ourselves, if we can respect ourselves where we are in our experience, it's going to be easier to respect somebody else where they are. And maybe also to have some more compassion and empathy, because I think we could use a lot of compassion on the planet right now. I know that there are days when I personally require a tremendous amount of compassion from myself for myself. And when I do that and I own that, I now have compassion for you, because I own it. Even if it's just for a minute, I own it. I can feel it. I have it. And generally, when you're feeling better, don't you feel that you're more generous when you're feeling love? Love is just the energy of abundance and generosity. And so I'm reading some of these. These are so wonderful. And so, we are multidimensional beings. We are imperfect beings. We're imperfect having either we're imperfect having a perfect experience, or we're imperfect having a perfect experience. We are both. We are so many things. On some things, on some topics and some subjects, we might be more evolved. On other subjects, we might not be. Nobody's ever 100% anything. You may have very strong feelings about what it is that you eat. You may have very strong feelings about what it is that you drive. You may have very strong feelings about how you live. And sometimes those are even in conflict with one another. Or yes, as Sam Roscoe says, if you just like killing zombies or knocking someone out in a video, and you may do that in a video, and you might be, when you're walking down the street, the first person to pick something up that somebody's dropped, or somebody who's going to hold a door for somebody, or let somebody go ahead of you in line, or let that person be who they are. We're all evolving. We are none of us perfect. Some places we're more involved in ourselves, and in other places we're less. I saw a meme once, or a little thing, which was just, I'm just a little bunny and I'm working on my issues. And yeah, it's like Sloop says, we can't always be perfect, but we do the best that we can, and we do the best that we can in the moment that we're in. Some moments we're killing it. Yeah, John says, like, love wins. Love does win. And so if I have love for myself, I'm more likely to feel generous and to share that love with you, because love is such an abundant experience. And you really do. When you're feeling good, don't you want to share it? Like, don't you want everybody to feel good too? So that's what I got today. Peace begins within. It begins with me. I am an imperfect being having this very crazy human experience, but I do believe that I am a soul that is, on some level, in some dimension, perfect. I just don't line up with it all the time. And that's okay too. I am a work in progress. We are all works in progress. The agreement, I always say, the agreement was not perfection, ever. The agreement was just to do our best in the day that we're in the moment that we're having, And on any given subject, we excel or don't. But if you're trying to evolve and grow, I think that's really, um, the name of the game. And to start with yourself, show love and compassion to yourself. Try to find the peace within, and then go out there and share it with other people. And so if you've got stuff going on, like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what's going on with you. I will definitely try to answer some of this stuff. I always ask the community to be loving and kind with each other. Everybody's in a different place. I love that it's like a totally cool, safe space for everybody to be here, no matter where you are, what you think. We need spaces of love on the planet and spaces of acceptance. And so I want to create this. And soon I'm going to be telling you about my website, which is where we'll also be able to hang out, and that there might be opportunities where we get to meet each other, or we get to work together, or we get to just hang out. I don't know. It's all kind of happening. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just a little bunny working on my issues. Anyway, I love you guys so much. And the reason I suggest subscribing and hitting notifications is I didn't know if I was going to be doing this today. Decided at the last minute. I never know when I'm going to pop in and pop out. If that's something you feel like doing, please do it. If it's not something you feel like doing, this is not any kind of pressure to do anything you don't want to do. But it is a way, if you like to come on live, that you will catch me live. And I love you so much. And I will talk to you.